Texas Tech holds a 55-49 lead over Houston at the break in what's been a sharp, fast-paced first half. Welcome to the Hardwood Report at the half. I'm Ryder Bullock. The story so far has been shot-making on both ends, but Texas Tech has been just a little steadier when it mattered most. For Houston, Kingston Flemings has carried the load offensively, 22 points on an effective 7 of 11 from the floor, knocking down 5 of 6 at the line. When the Cougars needed a basket, he delivered, keeping Houston within striking distance through the air. On the other side, J.T. Toppin has been everywhere for Texas Tech. He's got 17 points and 7 rebounds, including 4 on the offensive glass, giving the Red Raiders critical second chances, and it shows up in the numbers. Texas Tech with a rebounding edge, 18-11, and 10 offensive boards already. Shooting-wise, Houston has been actually more efficient, 62% from the field and scoring 64% from 3, but Texas Tech has answered with a volume, hitting 10 of 3s from their own and converting 92% at the free throw line. The difference? Extra possessions and ball movement. Texas Tech with 12 assists to Houston 6, and they've turned those chances into an 11-point largest lead in the opening 20 minutes. Still, this one feels far from settled. Houston has led for more than 60% of the game, and with Flemings in rhythm, the Cougars are very much in this. So second half coming up from Lubbock momentarily. Texas Tech leads at 55-49. Game tipping off in a matter of moments in Philadelphia, a familiar Eastern Conference matchup as the New York Knicks meet the 76ers for the third time this season. Philadelphia comes in riding momentum after an overtime win against Houston, led by Tyrese Maxey, who's averaging just 30 points a night. Joel Embiid continues to anchor the Sixers at both ends of the floor. For New York, Karl Anthony Towns provides the inside presence, while the Knicks look to rediscover consistency against teams over 500. Sixers won their most recent meeting earlier this month. Can the Knicks even the season? We shall see. Knicks Sixers coming up momentarily. Let's take a look at what's happening around the country. Number 10, Michigan State put on a clinic in East Lansing, overwhelming Maryland 91-48. Jeremy Fears was sensational, 17 points and a career-high 17 assists as the Spartans bolted out to a 24-4 lead and never looked back. Cohen Carr added 14 points with another night of rim-rattling dunks, while Carson Cooper chipped in 14 points and 8 rebounds. Michigan State shot 61%, held Maryland to 33%, and dominated every phase, including a staggering 31-0 edge in fast break points. Spartans also won the turnover battle, scored 17 second chance points, and saw their bench outscore the Terps 28-13. 43-point margin is Michigan State's largest in Big Ten play since its 2000 national title season. Elijah Saunders led Maryland with 13 points. The 22nd-ranked Tar Heels erased a 16-point deficit and outscored number 14 Virginia 18-9 down the stretch, pulling away for an 85-80 victory. Caleb Wilson led UNC with 20 points, while Jaron Stevenson scored all 17 of his points in the second half, including a key dunk that gave Carolina its first lead since the opening minutes. Virginia led 43-34 at halftime, fueled by rebounding and second chance points, but the Tar Heels offense clicked after the break. 3-point plays from Stevenson and Seth Trimble late sealed it. Thias DeRuyter had 20 points and 7 rebounds for the Cavaliers, whose 11-game home winning streak came to an end. Kentucky stayed hot at home, beating Ole Miss 72-63 for its fifth straight win. Otiga Owe, scoreless from the field in the first half, erupted after the break, scoring 20 of his 23 points and going 10 for 14 at the free throw line. The Wildcats led most of the second half, but couldn't create separation until the final minute when Colin Chandler knocked down a key three, and Kentucky closed it out at the line. A.J. Storr led Ole Miss with 20 points, but the Rebels struggled early, shooting just 25% in the first half. The game featured 59 free throws, with Kentucky converting 28 of 38. Kentucky has now won 15 straight home games against Ole Miss. Developing story out of Minneapolis. The Minnesota Timberwolves game, scheduled for this afternoon at Target Center, has been postponed. The NBA announcing the decision was made to prioritize the safety and security of the Minneapolis community. The game will now be played Sunday at 4:30 p.m., beginning a back-to-back set with Golden State, both contests remaining in Minneapolis. The postponement followed the fatal shooting of a man by federal immigration officers earlier today, just a couple of miles from the Wolves arena. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara confirmed a 37-year-old man was killed, but said details surrounding the encounter remain limited. Federal officials identified the officer involved as an 8-year veteran of the Border Patrol. According to the Department of Homeland Security, officers fired what they described as defensive shots after a man carrying a handgun approached them and resisted attempts to disarm him. Police believe the man was a lawful gun owner with a permit to carry. The shooting comes amid daily protests across the Twin Cities, following another fatal encounter involving federal immigration officers earlier this month. Tonight, just blocks from the scene, tensions remain high, with tear gas deployed and hundreds of demonstrators filling the streets. As authorities investigate and reporters work to verify the facts, the NBA's decision underscores a reality that sometimes transcends sports when events off the court demand our full attention. Second half